Hi everybody. My name is Jerry Wise, and today I'd like to talk about the narcissistic family or narcissistic parents, and that they call you bad for doing completely normal things. And I want to share some of those with you, and then stick around towards the end. I'm going to talk to you about how you can begin to think in healing ways and recovery ways. First of all, choosing to have a life versus doing for them or pleasing them. And they will call you bad for doing that. And again, choosing to have a life sounds reasonable to you and I, but to the narcissist, you having a life is bad if it's not doing for them and if it's not pleasing them, if they're not able to control your life. So choosing to have your own life, your own choices. I'm also talking about boundaries too, because there's some boundaries in there. Maybe you would like to do, Christmas with the family on Christmas Eve rather than Christmas Day because you have your own children and you'd like to do it on a holiday that you would prefer to do. Oh, well, that's totally bad. Totally a bad thing. You're a bad child, bad person in the family if you want to choose something different. And again, that's a part of their delusional, crazy, malignant trance or the malignant normalcy that comes along with a narcissistic parent. Number two, choosing to not be abused or becoming upset when you are abused. For example, if a mother or father would be giving you a hard time, or you'd say be in a mall somewhere and you'd be in a large department store, and they get upset with you because you are buying something they think is totally unnecessary, and even start to raise their voice over such silliness, and you're embarrassed, they're embarrassed, but of course, who's to blame? You're to blame that I had to abuse you. You are to blame. And that's one of the basic principles of abuse. I worked with families where abuse had been common for years, working with marriage and family therapy practice and also working in inpatient rehab addictions for alcohol and drug abuse. Lots of abuse went on. And in fact, there were a lot of narcissistic parents that were involved in these programs. And that, again, I was often so amazed at how offended and how they would view you if you were upset over being abused, feeling like they had done an offense in some way. Number three, having your own thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. And that is bad. You must not have your own thoughts, your own beliefs, your own feelings, nor choose your own actions. You cannot do those things. That is bad. And these are normal things that we grow up learning to do. Well, it should be a natural and normal process to grow up and to not be abused. To grow up and begin to have your own thoughts, beliefs, feelings, actions, choices, even when you're a child and an adolescent and then a young adult and then a full adult. But certainly, even as full adults, narcissistic parents will view you in an infantilized way, as an infant. They're your child. You are their child. And so having your own thoughts, beliefs, feelings, and certainly if they differ with the narcissistic parent, that's just totally bad, and you are being a bad person. Fourthly, self-reflection and self-awareness is bad. Totally normal thing, but totally seen in a bad way and viewed as a negative thing. Don't you dare reflect on your own, what's going on with you, or your own self-awareness, your own beliefs, and how you experience something. Don't reflect on that because oftentimes you'll then be criticized. Oh, well, you're just so weak. You're just so sensitive. You're just so stupid. You're just so, and here you're being treated as bad about something that's totally normal, called self-reflection, self-awareness. That doesn't fit into the narcissistic family. Number five, showing empathy for anyone other than the narcissist. and then you're bad. If you show sympathy for somebody else, well, Dad, I can understand why that clerk was, upset with you because of the way you acted. And again, you have some empathy for someone other than the narcissistic father. Oh my gosh, how bad you will be. How dare you choose the clerk over your dad? When your dad was totally wrong, behaved totally wrong, embarrassed you, should have embarrassed himself. But oftentimes for the narcissist, they are beyond embarrassment. They're beyond embarrassment, and I know you know what I'm talking about. They can be out in public and just do crazy stuff and not realize how crazy it may look to other people. But that's for another video. So what do we do if we're trying to heal and recover? Remember, in the narcissistic regime, we also have a narcissistic super self, and that is based on what's good is bad, what's bad is good, what's right is wrong, what's wrong is right. And that's what we find in the narcissistic regime, the way that the narcissist controls the family. Then we also have the emotional process of this super self that all families start out. All families have a super self. And when you grow up in a family, you are connected very much to that super self. The normal development would be then to begin to disconnect from that super self and find your own self. But many of us stay stuck in that super self. I've got a program I listed below called Your New Road to Self. I worked 45 years on it. I've really tried to help you begin to understand how to do this and to actually be successful at doing that. I hope you'll check it out. I do not think you'll be disappointed. And there's so many good things in there. Check out the testimonies. Never have I asked anybody, never have I given a false testimony about any workshop or anything that I've done. And what's nice is I don't have to. Over the 45 years, I know how effective these things are, and I know how effective they've been for me. You wouldn't have known me 40 years ago. You wouldn't have recognized me as the person I am now. I mean, I still have some of my own craziness and all that still. I'm still Jerry I'm still 6-year-old Jerry, 10-year-old Jerry, 20-year-old Jerry, 35-year-old Jerry, 60-year-old Jerry. I'm still all those Jerrys, but there is much more of a self-differentiation that I've been able to achieve through my own work. Not because I'm a genius, just doing my own work. You can too. Check out that program. So remember, if good is bad and bad is good, remember you are as good as they think you are bad. And this is a maxim. I believe that's in a systems way of thinking. If the system thinks good is bad, then they're going to see you as bad when actually you are good. And so we might want to remember that we are as good as they think I am bad. And it has to be that way because of the nature of systems. Their reactivity is telling about the true me. They're reactive and believe I'm bad, but it's telling that I must be good or they wouldn't be reactive. Using a horrible example of, if Hitler hated me and derided me, what do you think that might say about me? That I'm good or that I'm bad? And again, I know it's a horrible analogy and there's lots of other examples of things. Generally, I tend to think I would probably be good. It's a good thing to be hated by Hitler. That means it says something good about me, not bad. Again, poor analogy, I understand that. But it's a way to think about that system and how the systems work. Second of all, the narcissistic family super self. So we talked about the regime, the super self projects onto you the bad they cannot accept or see in themselves. Their fragile pseudo-self can't handle it. And so they must project the bad onto you. A healing belief for number 3 would be start looking at your negative feelings and self-hate and negative thoughts you have about you as an ongoing projection from your narcissistic family. Think of that as a projection of them, not of a reality of yours. So when I hate myself, and I remember hating myself. I remember also feeling worthless, and I'm going, but where did I learn that I was worthless? And if I step out of this situation, I don't really feel I am worthless, but it feels so strongly that I'm worthless because the projection is still within me, and I still believe it because I'm supposed to, because that keeps me in a certain emotional location. And I talk about emotional location in the program as well. Fourthly, another healing question: how would you be reacting, feeling, and thinking if you did not consider yourself as bad or worthless or stupid? How would you be acting, feeling, and thinking? And I want you to think about that and envision that. If I didn't feel these ways, what would I be doing? How would I be talking? Because you are able to. These are not how questions, they're when questions. And I go into how and when questions in the program. Oftentimes we're looking for the how that only keeps us from the when I'm ready to do that. I want you to subscribe, comment, please like this video. I want to thank you for joining me, and have a great day.